everyone, this is Anna Runyon from ClassyCareerGirl.com, and welcome to Get Unstuck and Find the Right Career for You webinar. First, I would love to know where you're calling in from, so if you could enter where you're calling in from on the chat box on the bottom right corner, that would be great. This is a spot where if you have any questions at all during this entire webinar, feel free to post them at any time. I will be answering questions at the end of the webinar, so feel free to write them out so you don't forget them, and I will get them at the end. And also let me know if you're having any issues hearing me. If you're using the computer, sometimes it's easier to hear if you dial in. So that might be an option if you're not able to hear me very well. So let's see, we have Tara from Minneapolis. Welcome. Sarah from Charleston. Katie from Florida. Let's see. And Anna from Ohio. Kendallin from Rhode Island. Welcome, everyone. We have Justine from Santa Clara. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm so excited to share with you some of the information I have learned over the past few years of how I found the right career for me, and to share with you what I'm learning from successful businesswomen and career experts through my 2012 networking challenge. So here's the agenda for tonight. It should go about an hour, and if you have any questions, feel free to fill them in on the side of the screen. Our first thing we're going to cover tonight is I'm going to introduce myself and give you a little more background of myself. Then we're going to go through how to know if it's time for a career change, some tips that I have found that you should do before you start your career search, how to identify and get your dream job, and then throughout tonight, I'm going to share my stories from my interviews with successful businesswomen and career experts, because I've learned so much from them, and I want to share them with you because they're so motivational. I'm also going to share with you what I've learned throughout my career as well. And then I'm also excited to share with you my new ebook about 30 days of networking ideas, and I will definitely be telling you where to find that at the end of this webinar. So let's get started. About me. My name is Anna Runyon. I'm the founder of ClassyCareerGirl.com. I just celebrated 2 years of blogging, and I also have a full-time job as a consultant at a government consulting firm in San Diego. A year ago, I also got my MBA, and I went to school part-time while working full-time and, of course, blogging on the side. So here's my contact information. If you ever want to connect with me, I would love to answer your questions or connect with you on LinkedIn. So since I'm going to give you career advice tonight, I wanted to make sure you knew my career background so you know where I'm coming from. In college, I was totally undecided, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I had 3 internships throughout college, and one of them turned into a full-time job with the government. I realized, though, that I hated that job a year into it, and then I applied for another job with a government consulting firm, and I have been working for that company for 6 years now in San Diego. So if you aren't familiar with my blog yet, I started my blog as an anonymous personal blog, and then about 1 year ago, I realized that my passion and purpose in life is training and coaching through a personality assessment that I completed, and I love to help people as well. So I did informational interviews throughout the entire year of 2011, including people within and outside of my company, and I was able to get a job at my company as an adjunct facilitator, teaching employees at my company how to manage their career and find the right fit for them within the company, which I absolutely love. And I would not have realized this if I hadn't had talked to people within my company and outside of my company. So I also decided I want to help more people on my blog as well, which is why I'm doing webinars like this one tonight. And last night I wrote a tweet that I wanted to share with you that sums up my journey in the past year or two as well. I said, because of some hard work, late nights, and big moves outside of my comfort zone, my life is starting to look exactly how I want it to. And that is what I hope for you all as well. I want you to find what it is that motivates you and interests you, and then find out how to make that your job, just like I was able to do. And of course, I have to include some fun facts about me as well. You can read through and discover a little bit more about me. I used to figure skate, run marathons, I can't whistle, I'm from Minnesota, and I moved out to San Diego to go to college when I was 18, and I have been in San Diego ever since. So now the part that you've all been waiting for, how to get unstuck from this terrible rut that you might be in. Or you may not be in a terrible rut, but you just want to change because you know you're so much better than what you're doing right now, and you want a bigger challenge. So here are some common things that happen when you feel stuck and in a rut. You might feel like you have very little motivation, you hate waking up and going to work, you live for the weekend, you have little passion in anything, and you don't know how to get a job in this economy. You just stay put and keep going to a job you hate every day. You just don't know what the next step is to take, and it's totally draining. I've been there, and although it helps, you know, a glass of wine and television every night is not the answer because you still have to go back to the same job the next day. You have to take action and make time in order for any change to occur in your life. I just ran across this Albert Einstein quote that is very similar to this. He said, discontent is the first step in the progress of a man or nation, and I like to say or a woman at the end of that. So good things can come out of being unhappy and restless. You should use that as a sign that you need to put some time into making a change. So when I have felt like this in the past, because I've had some pretty terrible jobs too, here are some things that I do to help me right away. There are definitely things to do long term, but these simple things can help you today if you're feeling this way. The first thing I do is take a mental health day to just have a day where I just think about what I'm doing and what I want to change in my life. The reason that this is better than a weekend day is because most weekends you have things to do and errands and laundry. But having a day off work is like a free day to read a motivational book and really have some downtime, which you wouldn't have normally had. Now, I'm not saying to do this often at all because it will not look good at your work, but it will really help you get motivated and help you make some small changes in your life going forward, kind of like a break and then a new start. Other things to do are to make some new habits in your life, such as starting to wake up an hour earlier, which I did a year ago, and it totally changed my life. Other things are organizing your to-do list or your house, or adding a 30-minute workout to your day, or even start setting aside an hour of reading every day. Changing one little habit can really help change your life. Also, you could learn a new hobby, like playing tennis or yoga, and also always meet new people. That is a great way to get out of a rut because you're talking to other people and you're learning about them, and it's helping you learn about yourself more and what you want out of life. And then you learn the next steps to take to get there. So most people are always very open to giving advice and to talking with you, but you just have to ask. So if you increase the time you spend with successful people similar to the type of people you want to be someday soon, you will be amazed. So now, if you have a job you totally hate, here are some more suggestions to just survive today. Definitely not long term, but just to make it through until you can find that job that totally fits you. Try to add little things to your plate that you can enjoy and learn. These things you can eventually place on your resume, and then they can help you get a different job. So this is a little bit of what I'm doing right now because at my company I have a side job facilitating trainings, which I love and I totally look forward to. Also, if you aren't taking a break at lunch, you must. Trust me, it's hard sitting at your desk all day. Schedule lunch dates or informational interviews over your lunch instead. And remember, if your job is super stressful, that you don't have to be perfect in your job. Just do the best you can. And use your nights and weekends to do what you love and to learn more about what you might want to get into. Brian Tracy has a great quote that says, invest 3% of your income in yourself and self-development, so in order to guarantee your future. So look where your money is going and ask yourself if you want to make any changes to that and how much are you spending right now on improving yourself, because it's so important. And make an end date or a goal for when you want to move on and talk to someone about it. Then they can keep you accountable to make sure you're doing everything you can, like networking, to find that next opportunity. And if you're having a really difficult time, you can feel free to talk it over with your manager, and they might be able to change things to make you happier in your job. Also use all the extras that you can, such as tuition reimbursement and trainings. And last of all, make a list of your current job of all the things you love and a list of all the things you hate. And then take your time to find out what it is that you truly want in that next job. So now we have our first tip from our career expert, job coach Jacqui. who has her own career consulting firm. And I asked her in my networking interview how to know if it's time for a change. And her advice to you today is, if you find yourself arriving to work late, calling in sick a lot, it probably isn't the job for you. You should enjoy the work you do. You should want to get up in the morning every day and want to come in and do your job. If it doesn't inspire you or it doesn't motivate you to do better, then most likely that job is not for you. But the first thing is, don't quit. Because we all know that it's easier to find a job when you have a job. So Jon Acuff just wrote a new book, which is called Quitter, and you can see it on the slide here. And even his first chapter is called Don't Quit Your Day Job. You have to use your current job as a stepping stone if you can, and don't burn your bridges. So before you leap or give up, do some self-assessment and keep your complaints to yourself. Focus on what you can change and set a timeline for change and create a vision of where you see yourself in a few months, and this will get you through. Also, don't make the very common mistake that everyone tends to make, which is to jump online and apply to 10 jobs that they would maybe like to do because it would be better than their current job, which they hate, because we all know everyone does that. So what they don't realize when you do that is that you will just jump into another job that you hate if you don't do a self-assessment to discover what the best job is for you. It'll just be a cycle that you repeat every few years, or eventually you will just stick in a job you hate until retirement, which is not good. So this is what I really want to get across tonight, because we should love our work and not hate going to work every day. This is one of my favorite quotes from the great Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you will know when you find it. Most people think that they won't make enough money if they do what they're truly passionate about, but it is actually the opposite. You will do so much better if you're doing work you love, and you will most likely make much more money if that is your end goal, to make money. So if you have a passion, you just have to find a career that fits that passion, or create an economic model where you can make money with that passion. One of my favorite career books that's on my recommended reading list is 48 Days to the Work You Love by Dan Miller. And he has a quote about how 85% of the process of moving forward in the right direction comes from looking inward first, and 15% is just the application. He says that when you know your passion and you have work that expresses that passion, you become a magnet for others. You will become a lightning rod for not only your own efforts, but you will focus the talents and abilities of those around you, and your work will be magnified with little effort. Here's another great quote by Jonathan Fields, author of Career Renegade, How to Make a Great Living Doing What You Love. He says, we do not exist for the sole purpose of paying our bills, grooming our kids to be able to do the same, and someday retiring to finally enjoy life. We are here to let our light shine as brightly as possible, to drink in the joy of friendship and family, to serve and better the greater community, and to tap into and inspire passion in everything we do. We are here to come alive. So I would love, if you have a pencil and paper right now, I'd love for you to write these questions down, and you can think about them later tonight. What is your purpose in life? And here are some questions that can help you determine what that purpose is. The questions are, what do you naturally do well? What would you do if you knew you could not fail? And what do you absolutely love to do that you lose track of time doing when you do it? For me, that's blogging. So the next step is to make a personal mission statement for yourself. My personal mission statement is to encourage, support, mentor, and motivate everyone I interact with on my blog and through my work as a consultant and trainer. So now I have a challenge for you to do some thinking tonight about what your personal mission statement is as well. And then before you start job searching and networking, there are a few things you need to do. You must figure out the direction where you want to go, and try to be clear about what you want, and writing it down is a great way to figure that out, because then you can determine who you need to talk to and who should be in your network. And then when you speak to someone, you should have some type of goal or plan. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what career direction you want to head in before you start networking, but you must have a direction where you want to go. So write it down and identify the holes in your network and be clear about what you want. An example of this is last week I had a woman ask me for an informational interview, and the questions that she asked me, I just knew she really had no idea what field of work that she wanted to get into because her questions were all over the place. And I actually got off the phone with her, and I thought that I would never refer her to my company because I still have no idea what type of job she really wanted. So when you speak with someone, you must have some type of goal or plan that you can explain to them. And it could be just researching a specific field or learning more, but you just don't want to be all over the place about, like, well, I might go into accounting or maybe marketing. I'm just not sure yet. So instead, say I want to go into accounting if you're talking to someone in accounting, and vice versa with marketing. And now for another big moment that you've been waiting for, here's my top list of how to identify your dream career. And the key is to identify all of these things. The first one is your favorite transferable skills, which are skills that can be transferred from one job to the next, such as decision-making, responsibility, problem-solving skills, and social skills. In the assessments that I've done, my skills are time management, ability to teach, listening, leadership, and flexibility, which all come in very handy as a career coach / consultant / blogger. Definitely the flexibility one. And then figure out your favorite interest. An interest is something that you are willing to give special attention to because you feel strongly about it. How well your career aligns with your interests is the best predictor of how successful and satisfied you'll be in your work. Another important note is that your interests don't change much throughout your life. My interests are influencing others, coaching, and mentoring, which you can see pretty easily in the work I'm doing right now. And another factor is your favorite environment and your location. Where do you want to live? Do you want to be around family and friends, or do you want to travel on your job or live abroad? These are all important factors that will determine what the right career is for you. And then what are your values and motivations? Your values motivate and fulfill you and determine whether you will be satisfied in your job. Your motivations can change throughout your life. For instance, when you have kids, you might value lifestyle and work-life balance, which will motivate you more than if you just got out of college. Maybe financial gain or recognition may motivate you more. And then you always want to know your minimum and your maximum salary before you start job searching. And I'm all about living within your means and not going into debt. In fact, my husband and I just paid off all our car loans and our student loans. So all that to say, you need to be able to have a salary that you can live on and not go into debt. So remember that this could be income from a side job or a part-time business as well. It doesn't have to be, your 9 to 5. And then make a list of all the names of your jobs that fit. And here's where you're going to brainstorm all of the jobs that meet all of the above requirements, and then research the organizations that offer those jobs. There are so many options available, and sometimes we tend to think of just the one or the two that we can think of off the top of our heads, but there are so many options available. And once you've done the above and have some ideal jobs and organizations in mind, you're going to start networking like crazy and doing informational interviews at least 1 to 2 times per month if you can. So that's easy, right? So I want to get more into networking now because networking is also a great way to get out of a rut. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my networking challenge. It all started in the beginning of 2011 when I was preparing to graduate from business school and trying to figure out the next step in my career. I knew that networking would be a key to success in the job search, but I also knew that I was an introvert, and the prospect of meeting new people was never easy for me. Still, I was determined to knock down my barriers to networking and meet the people who would help me reach my dreams and goals. So I decided to embark on a networking challenge where every month I would meet with 4 people I already knew but would like to get to know even better, as well as with 4 completely new people. And I called this the 4x4 Networking Challenge. At the end of 2011, I added 48 new people to my network and strengthened relationships with 48 friends, coworkers, and family members. Not to mention, a year of networking like crazy gave me a lot of valuable insights into what it means to be a good networker, which is something I never thought I'd be able to claim. So the first thing I learned is that finding people to network with really isn't that hard. During the challenge, I tried a variety of ways to connect with new people. I used Google to find professionals I thought were interesting. I went to networking events and I met people, and I asked for business cards so that I could request an informational interview with them after the event if I enjoyed speaking with them. I brainstormed all of the jobs that I would love to have at my current company, and I did informational interviews with people in those positions. My tips for informational interviews are do your research, learn as much as you can about who you're interviewing with and the company beforehand, and have all your questions prepared and ready to go. And always, always, always ask who else you can contact at the end of the interview. I also searched my social media connections for people I knew virtually but wanted to connect with in person. And here's what I found. Every single person I emailed for an informational interview emailed me back. What's more, at the end of each meeting, I always asked the person if there was anyone else that he or she could introduce me to, and most of the time they said yes. So I was amazed at how my networking took off with just this simple question. And from this, I quickly learned that people really do want to help you. All you have to do is ask. The second thing I learned is that planning ahead is crucial to your success. Part of the difficulty in networking is that it can get pushed off your priority list if you don't make time for it. So at the beginning of each month, I made sure to block off days in my calendar for interviewing, and I tried to set up all my meetings for the month in advance. Then I wrote about how I was doing on my blog, and I found someone to keep me accountable. I also made sure I was fully prepared before each meeting, and I created a list with all of my questions for the person ahead of time. And I learned to always be ready to give a quick elevator pitch about myself, because most of my interviews were planned, but a few happened at the spur of the moment. The third thing I learned is that networking is a waste of time if you don't take action. You can easily spend hours and hours finding and meeting new people, but if you don't stay in touch with them or don't do anything with what you learn, it's all a waste of time. Make sure to follow up with people by sending them thank you notes and keeping in touch with them by email and social media. Also keep a journal of all your notes from networking. Have one place where you log who you met and what you learned, and then what you need to do to follow up. This way you'll have everything organized, and you'll be able to keep track of what you learned, and you'll be able to easily reference your contacts when you need to get in touch with them in the future. I also learned what my purpose and my calling is from networking and meeting people, talking to them, and asking questions. And this is why I highly recommend networking as a great way to discover your calling and to get out of your rut. Now, enough of hearing just my advice. Let's hear some more advice from career experts and successful businesswomen and hear what they have to say. Here's more advice from Dennece Mckelvy, who is a career and executive coach. Her advice when I asked her how can job searchers find the right career path for them. She said one of the most valuable steps in looking for a job is knowing who you are and what values you have in life. Our interests can change over time, but our character and our value doesn't. So before you start your job search on the outside, you should really focus on the inside to really understand who you are naturally. And then I asked Dennece why self-assessment tests are so important in job searching. And she said, we tend to do a much better job when we take a look inside ourselves rather than just listening to what other people have told us about ourselves and what we are good and bad at. I think it's also important before you even go to college, or if you're in college, to figure out what you should study during college. I encourage women to take these assessments and look inside before they pick what they want to do. And here's some more advice from job coach Jacqui when I asked her how to find your dream job. She said to write down all the jobs that you have had and the things that you really, really like. Read through the list of all the things you liked in your previous jobs, and it will pretty much tell you what path you should take. Base your decision on what you enjoy doing so it doesn't feel like you're at work. It doesn't feel like work. And don't make your decision on how much money you would make. One of my favorite questions that I always ask at the end of all of my networking challenge interviews is, what do you wish you would have known as a young professional woman just starting out in her career? I asked this question to Sarah Ward, who's the owner of an image consulting firm, that she started after being in the corporate world for many years. And she said that I wish I would have known more about myself. Once I recognized what my personal values were, it felt like everything just came into place so quickly. I wish I had done that a decade earlier. As you know yourself, what is important to you, and the lifestyle that you want to live, then you can start crafting a career that meets your needs. There are careers out there that are going to hit on all of the things you love and make you feel fulfilled, alive, and that you make a valuable contribution to the world. Know yourself and everything will fall into place. And I love, 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 love that advice. I was so happy when she said that because it just perfectly summed up this course. So this is a lot of advice, but where should you go from here? Well, put your goals in writing. Write things down. One of my favorite quotes is by Brian Tracy. If you don't set goals for yourself, you will accomplish the goals of someone else. And whose goals do we want to accomplish? We want to accomplish our own, not someone else. Challenge negative thoughts because you will be so much happier if you are positive, and people will want to help you and talk to you if you're positive. Surround yourself with positive people who are making things happen and trying to do their best. And then take baby steps. Do one little thing every day that is going to help you get to where you want to go. Learn from yesterday. Learn from your previous job about what you don't like, and that will help you in the future find something that you do like. And create a vision of where you want to be and take action to make that vision happen. And most importantly, just be you. You should be in a job that allows you to be you and lets your amazing strengths and skills out. So if you want any help finding out what these things are, your skills, your interests, your calling, your values, your motivations, your strengths, I would love to help you discover all of these things so that you can get networking and interviewing like crazy, because you'll be so much better during your interviews, and you will get more calls back because hiring managers can tell when you're passionate about something and if you really want a job or if it's just a paycheck for you. So I'm so excited to announce that I have a course to help you do just that, and it starts on Monday. I only have a few more spots left, and I'm opening them up to you who are on this webinar. This course will include a personality profile disc assessment so you can learn more about yourself, worksheets, videos, many, many more interviews with career experts and successful professionals, live webinars which will be recorded so that you can watch them whenever it's convenient for you, and basically your own personal guide to finding out the right career for you through this course. And I'm also excited to announce that if you purchase this before Monday when our first webinar starts, I'm giving away the following bonuses. You'll get 1 hour of free coaching with me, and I'm also giving away a free ebook on how to nail an informational interview. And the last thing I'm giving away is 10 things that successful business women wish they would have known, which I am only giving away to those of you on the webinar because I am probably not going to put this out for another year. So this is a very special bonus that will be unique, and only you will have the opportunity to read. So I wanted to go over a little bit about what the course will be like. There's the DISC personality profiles in the beginning. Our first week, we're going to go through your personality, your purpose, your values, and we're going to create some Get Unstuck action steps, and then we're going to create a vision. We're going to go through your skills, your abilities, your motivations, your interests, and then your ideal workday. And then we're going to create career targets and go through your previous work experience, find your preferred work environment, and then also analyze if you could possibly be an entrepreneur as well, if you've never done that analysis. And then we're going to put it all together to find your ideal job, create a networking action plan, and then we're going to set goals for your success. So you might think I'm doing this for the money, but that is not true, because trust me, after paying everything for the webinar, the training site, and the personality profile test, I will not be making any money. But that's okay, because I have a full-time job, so money is not my goal. What I do care about is helping readers of my blog find work they love, because I believe being passionate about your job is how you can then become successful, happy, and balanced. And I've been in jobs that drain me and make me feel like I'm stuck in a rut. And I've also been in jobs that make me feel so happy. And I know that I'm doing what I am passionate about and the work that I was born to do. And guess which job I was most successful at? the job that I loved and I was most passionate about. And I want to help you figure this out so that you can also be successful. And I'm doing this 100% satisfaction guaranteed because I'm so confident that this course is going to meet all your, help you find the career for you. And if you aren't satisfied within 6 weeks of purchase, your money will be refunded. So a couple questions that I've been getting about the course is how long will it take? I recommend setting aside maybe 1 to 2 hours per week. But don't worry if you don't have the time. You can always access the material after the course ends. And make a decision today to change your life and figure out your dreams and goals. I'm normally charging a lot more for this, but right now because of this webinar, I'm going to give it away for $99 bonus rate. And since I really want you guys to have the opportunity for these bonuses and help you find the right career for you with the coaching. So if you invest in developing yourself, nothing can stop you from being successful, not this recession and not getting fired, nothing. So I definitely highly recommend it. So here's the link. If you want any information about the course, please feel free to ask any question in the sidebar. Finally, your free ebook. So this is an awesome ebook I put together. It's my ideas for 30 days of networking to get you networking like crazy. And I love it. Let me know what you think. I hope you love it as well. And please let me know if you have any questions at all. You can type them into the chat box and I will answer them. Thanks so much for joining me and listening to me tonight. I had so much fun, obviously because this is what I love to do and what I'm passionate about. And I really hope that you find exactly what that is for you as well. So I'm going to look right now and see if anyone has any questions. See, I'm not seeing any questions, but I thank you guys so much. You can always email me if you have any questions at all. I'll stick around here in case you're typing right now and haven't had a chance to hit the return button. I wanted to go over here. We have Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Justine. Kendallin. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you haven't checked out, I just started a new podcast as well. And so I've been putting up, answering all the readers' questions on the podcast because I'm actually enjoying talking a lot more than I thought I would, but it's actually a great way to get things out. Right. So there's no questions. That's awesome. That means you guys got all the information that you needed out of the webinar. Remember, you can email me at anna@classycareergirl.com. Check out the course at www.classycareergirl.com/get-unstuck. And if you missed the link for the networking ebook, it's classycareergirl.com/30 days. Definitely check it out and let me know what you think. And that's it for tonight. So thank you all for joining us. And oh, here we go. We have some questions now. Will this PowerPoint be available for future use? Yes, definitely. I will send out a link, and it will include this presentation and also include the PowerPoint slides as well. So you'll have both of them. And is your podcast on iTunes? Yes, it is. It's called the Classy Career Girl Podcast. It's on iTunes. I've been posting it every Saturday on the blog, but it also links directly to iTunes. I have 4 of them up right now, 4 podcasts up on iTunes. So, and then on Saturdays, I'm trying to also play it on my blog, and you'll also get the transcript from all of the podcasts as well. So yeah, definitely check that out. You're welcome. Anna and Kendallin, thanks so much for joining. And Justine, you're welcome. Awesome. It's so fun. Like I recognize all of your names from just blogging, and it's just fun to connect. And hopefully we can connect in person or maybe through Skype someday as well. That'd be awesome. So I'll stick around if anyone else has any questions about finding the right career for them or how to get unstuck. I'll also be on Twitter afterward as well. If you would rather just tweet me or put something on the Facebook page, a question about the course, that's totally fine as well. All right. Well, I had so much fun with you guys tonight, and thanks so much for joining us. And I look forward to connecting with you all in the future. Good night.